Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here and you're into 3D printing, photography and drones, start now by subscribing and hitting the bell so you won't miss anything. I'm gonna bring you a review today, or at least let's say my personal experience on the CR-10 Smart from Creality. They were so kind at Creality to send me a unit to test out. I've had it for the last 3 months and I've had some up and downs and I wanna tell you about it. Before getting into the review, I would like to tell you about a collaboration I have ongoing with this really good friend of mine, Giuseppe. He runs an Instagram page called 3D Print All the links for your reference will be down in the description. He talks about application of electronics to 3D printing and he comes out with very great ideas that can really boost your creativity. Go pay Giuseppe a visit, you will not regret it. I'm gonna go very fast through the unboxing of this printer because the internet is full of unboxing and putting together. I just want to say that it was extremely well packed and it came with accessories that are not common. It comes with a drawer here with lots of tools, which is amazing. It's something I really love. Another thing I loved is the braces in the back that keep the Z axis in place and there's no Z wobble at all, and that's a really nice feature. Something else I loved is the design of this printer. I think it comes from Lamborghini design and it's beautiful. I mean, usually printers are not that beautiful. I mean, I'm used to great printers which are not pleasant to the eye, but this one, they made a lot of effort with this printer. They also have an LED light to light your printer, and the overall view experience is amazing. I would like to tell you like my experience and give you my perspective as let's say not an super experienced user, but someone who has put his hands on printers. And my overall experience is positive, even though I had to do some tinkering. As you probably know, you're searching on this printer and you got on this video, you know it's a large scale volume. It's everybody talks about this auto level bed system. I should say, I mean, I was personally surprised by that. Many say that the bed didn't arrive leveled, so they had to fix it. But my experience was perfect. Auto bed leveling worked perfectly from the beginning. Of course, I'm not using Cura, I'm using Creality Slicer, which is let's say a lighter version of Cura, and that works perfectly for what I have to do. When I usually review a printer, I like to have it for, I don't agree to like 2 weeks review. I like to have a printer for a longer time and see how things evolve. Only time can tell you what kind of problems a printer actually has. And sometimes it happens that I get a printer and I have like problems straight away that I try to fix, and my opinion changes over time. Sometimes it happens the opposite. I get a printer, it's perfect for the first couple of weeks or month, and then something happens that I cannot fix. With this CR-10 Smart, what happened was that from the beginning I had the problem with the extruder. Basically the plastic broke on top and I had to replace it. I opted for a full metal extruder. I actually got it from another printer I had and put it on. Even though Creality sent me a new plastic one, I don't really rely on that because it wasn't pushing filament the way it should have, and I was having like print issues. I mean, under extruding or over extruding. I love to print in vase mode, and when I print in vase mode, I like to push it. Even if I use a 0.4 nozzle, I like to push it to 0.8. and that requires a lot of strength on the extruder. And with the plastic one that was in stock on the CR-10, let's say it was nice and pleasing at the eye because you didn't see the extruder at all, but I mean, it was weak for the stuff I want to do it, and supposedly everybody wants to do. So I replaced it with this full metal one, and I resolved totally the extruder problem. On internet, there's people talking about this extruder. It's an issue you can fix with 8 or 9 euros from Amazon. I'll link the extruder, the old metal extruder, down in the description for your reference. So the CR-10 Smart, is it really smart? I would like to tell you that if you want to use a Raspberry Pi and control your printer with a Raspberry Pi, you will not be able to do that unless you do a little modification on the motherboard. There's lots of videos on internet that show you how to do it, but straight there, if you plug it in, Raspberry Pi will not communicate with your main board because it's bypassed by the Creality environment, which is really, really good. I mean, you can control it from an app. You can send STL sliced directly from your phone to the printer, which makes it smart in a way, but not in the way we creator and makers intend, which is good on a way because it's creating competition between the Raspberry Pi system and Creality, but at the same time it's a bit of a bummer for who has many printers and wants to control them with the Raspberry Pi. Nonetheless, there's a solution for that. I'm gonna get to the quality of the printer in a minute because I want to address all the issues that people are facing, but they're not talking about the quality of the printer, which is kind of impressive. As I mentioned, I had no problems with the bed leveling. I find the automatic bed leveling really, really good and something that every printer should have. Other great feature I love is that the printer shuts off when a print is finished, which is supposed to be, in my opinion, mandatory on every printers. It's like if I leave the house and I have an hour print and then get back after 5 hours, the printer has been on for 4 hours, and that's a bit crazy in 2021. So I find that a really, really great features. So how are prints on this printer? I tested PLA, I tested PETG, and I also tested TPU, and I was excited to find out that it actually prints very, very well. I found it a little slower than regular, even if it was printing at 60 millimeters per second, but quality turned out really, really good. I didn't print the usual stuff comes on the printer. I mean, if you want to see them, you will see them in like regular reviews and stuff like that. I like to slice my own pieces, and this is a great piece of Black Cat in an azure film, champagne. I'm gonna review 3 beautiful new filaments from Azure, and probably they're already out, and they're amazing, guys. Like, the colors are really, really good, and you will see a couple of them in the pieces I've printed. Another Azure film is the Anthracite gray from Azure. This is a filament model. I like to print a lot of these, and as you can see, turned out amazingly. I talked about the bed, automatic bed leveling, and many of the people I'm watching on internet had issues, but like, let's say 100% of them had fixed it. I was one of the lucky ones whose bed was already perfect, like leveled, and so the automatic bed level worked. And to prove that, I want to show you how this turned out. This is a Star Trek octopus, and as you can see, bed adhesion and first layer was really good. Then I wanted to go a step forward and test a snake that had failed on the last couple of printers I had tested. I had to do a lot of tweaking to make it work. I didn't do any tweaking at all. I just sliced the piece from Creality slicer and sent it to the printer with this Isan silk orange, and this is a first layer adhesion, as you can see, and the snake turned out great. As you can see, it moves, and this is the proof that the bed is perfectly leveled, and the sheet of the bed, like the glass, is really well done, because the piece really sticks to it until the plate is hot. But as soon as the plate cools down and gets back to 20 degrees, 22 degrees, the piece will come off without any strength, without without the need to breaking it off with a hammer. I mean, so perfectly well-made glass. As mentioned, I like to print in vase mode, and I like to push the printer to a limit where it usually is not designed for. I like to print in vase mode, extruding at 0.8, even if the nozzle is 0.4, and results are much stronger than a regular 0.4 vase mode, and they look even better. I print this like drawer stackable box, it's called. All the links to these pieces will be down in the description for your reference. I printed this, which box go one on top of the other. I like to print it when I test, when I'm reviewing a printer, because I put all the pieces in here and I know those pieces are from that printer. And I like vases a lot. I like shiny color. This is an azure film, a silk blue azure film filament, and it turned out amazingly, as you can see. So overall, the quality of this printer is really high, considering also the price. It's a semi-flagship of Creality, and I understand why they put a lot of effort on this printer. They came out with lots of new ideas on one single printer, and of course it takes time to digest it, and for an inexperienced user that could be a little bit challenging. So I would highly suggest this printer for a person who knows already how to tinker it, how to play around it, how to fix issues, because I imagine somebody who's a beginner who starts with a Creality CR-10 Smart that starts facing trouble that is it's common for people who operate on 3D printers, stuff that's part of daily activity of who has a 3D print farm and or many printers. So I wouldn't suggest this printer for a beginner. I would suggest it for somebody who wants to do experience and has to be bought with the intention of understanding the printer and putting it in a place where the printer can perform to its maximum, because the quality that this printer delivers once it's set to the best is amazing, and it's above any other printers I've tested so far. This is becoming, after I fixed it, after I've tinkered it, after I set it to the best, it's gonna be my go-to printer. It's gonna stand there next to my Sidewinder X1, because those two are the printers that I use for my activity, for my stuff, and I know I can rely on them. This printer can be an option for you, to grow and understand more of the 3D printing world and improve your knowledge. And in the end, once you set it perfectly, it will give you really great results. That was all for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button if you did, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and I'll see you guys on the next video.